I don't care how you was feeling before, nope. But right now, it's time to feel good, yeah. Let's go. I'm good, I'm good. It don't matter how my day starts off, cause I'm good, I'm good.
Hi everyone, I'm Korren Briley here with Terry Fletcher, and we want to welcome you to the BunLife Podcast, coming to you from Podcast Center, LA, California. Hey Terry, so it's almost the weekend, and I realized we've gone another week now, and I have yet to go on a date with my husband in like 2 months, and I really hate it, and I am really struggling with creating time dedicated to just me and my husband, and adult time. I mean, you've been married 19 years. Does it get any better?
You know, it doesn't. It doesn't. You basically finding that time because you get busier, and then you get different busy. So right now you're consumed with work and the kids because they're small kids and things like that. But then as it gets older and businesses grow like mine, because I work for myself, you get consumed in that genre. And just, you know, as your kids get older too, Summer was an athlete and played 4 sports, then 3, then 2. Then we're finally like, okay, we can only do 1, and took it into college. And every weekend was about softball, every weekend until she took it into college with honor scholarship. So it's really tough because then later in life, once your kids leave home and go to college, you've got to learn to like each other again. So
in a different way.
In a different way. So I really like that we're really talking about this today as far as making time for your marriage, your partners, your significant others, only because if you don't do it now, later on, it might be really tough to find that time or even want to.
And I imagine too, you know, my personal opinion, you fall in love. It's just the two of you, and you have one type of love, and then you get married, and that's a little bit of a different dynamic in your relationship. Now you're husband and wife. And then you have kids, and now you're falling in love with each other in a whole different way. Now you're loving the father, the mother, the whoever in this relationship, and it's a whole new level of love. And it just keeps going. Your kid gets older, and then they move out of the house, and now you're falling back in love with the person, almost like in the beginning. But you're 2 different people now. You've experienced all these life things.
Right. And then they move back into the house. Let's just put that out there.
And that's true too. I mean, and even when they're older, and let's say they're staying with you, like Summer, while she's completing all her credentials and working towards this big serious goal.
Right.
You're there supporting her, and you guys are still working together, but she's still an adult, and she's not taking up your time in the same fashion that like a 10-year-old would.
No, or like a 1.5-year-old would, like you're dealing with, or even a 6-year-old. I think sometimes 6-year-olds need more attention than 1.5. They just run around and cause chaos. But the 6-year-old actually wants you, Mommy, I need you to focus on me, you know. But believe it or not, when they're in their 20s, they want you to focus on them too. They're like, I have this funny story to tell you. Or like, for example, today, when you and I were just preparing for our show, and my daughter walks in my office and goes, Korren, guess what? I have a date tomorrow. And so then that was another half an hour discussion. And, you know, when you're trying to make time, you know, for your marriage and for your partner and your spouse, it definitely gets challenging when I'm trying to put this in the right perspective. You know, we never want to lose those moments with our kids. You know, the old saying that they grow up so fast. As much as I can't wait for her to move out because she's kind of cramping our style right now. Because we live on, you know, in a condo, and even though it's just the 3 of us, it's smaller and smaller every day with her there. But I'm going to be sad when she leaves. I'm going to be sad. I love that I'm the first person she wants to tell something funny to.
Yeah, I mean, our kids always come first.
Yeah,
always.
They really do.
They're the first person you think of when you go shopping. You think of buying things for them,
right?
You know, when you get home, you're wondering what Summer's doing,
right?
What's she up to? Is she doing this, that, and the other? They're going to always be in the forefront, and they should. And it's so hard to. I mean, it's almost work to make sure that your kids are always going to be there. They're always going to be your kids. But as a couple, focusing that energy on maintaining that relationship is really imperative I feel.
Now when you say date night, is it a formal date where you both get dressed up, or what is it that you think is a date night?
Well, right now I'm like an uninterrupted conversation.
Getting a donut.
Yeah, down the street. And really, truthfully, to me, date night has a whole new meaning. It's just quality time together. It's one-on-one time where we can have a conversation, where we can catch up on things that we haven't been able to talk about because of scheduling conflict with work and the kids. It's having an uninterrupted meal while it's hot at a normal time, not at 10 o'clock at night. And just enjoying being in each other's presence, I think to me is the best date night. And I actually just blogged about it, and I put it on our website on thebunlife.com. And I spoke a little bit about my favorite date night, and it was the most simplest thing. And I think that that's really what it comes down to, is just dedicating simple quality time together to kind of recalibrate.
And that's what, when you were talking about just having a conversation, because, let's just say that the kids aren't around too. Well, you can't, but let's just say in general, and luckily mine does go to work on once in a while, that you actually have, time in the living room to talk. There's still things like electronic devices and, and the distractions of all that, and just not having somebody that you feel like is paying attention at the time because everything that's going on with that. So one thing Tom and I try to do is, we live less than a mile from the beach, and we go down to the beach. We try at least once, or at least we used to do it once a week, but at least we try at least once a month. I know that's terrible, but we go down, we watch a sunset, and that's actually where we have a conversation, and the phones stay in the car, and we do not take them out. He'll take them out just to take a photo of the sunset. Or whatever and post it and then put it back. But it's kind of nice because we just know, and it's just kind of an unwritten rule, that when we go down there, we get out, there's like a nice, area there that have benches, and we just kind of have our conversation. So
I think that's so awesome. I think right now our biggest struggle is having that time. We live right next to the beach as well, and it's a no-brainer to be able to go down there and enjoy like a dessert. Like there's a lot of little dessert shops right
ice
there.
Creams and stuff.
Yeah, and just kind of walk along the beach and all those things. And we would love to do it. And given the time and given the opportunity, I think it would be there. But unfortunately, we don't have much assistance with the kids, and we do have a lot of responsibility there, of course. Those are our children. We chose to have them. So there's no obligation to anybody but us on that part. And I think that we take that very seriously. And so often what ends up happening is like we both need time to do our own thing. So we're very supportive of each other in doing each other's thing. So, every now and then my husband might go play poker or do whatever he feels like doing. And I'm totally 100% supportive of that. And likewise for myself, my husband does the same thing. But it's easier to do that because we know one of us is going to be home with the kids.
Yeah.
And so I think that I put a lot of pressure on when the kids are asleep, if my husband's able to be home in time, having that dedicated time to spend time together in the house.
Right. And it becomes kind of sometimes tough because everybody's idea of what they want to do once the kids are down is different. We may be like, okay, they're down, finally get to spend time with my husband, maybe even some intimate time, just any kind of quiet time. And they're basically like, oh, good, now I can go catch up on my, if I play games on my computer, or if I, on my electronic device, or I can watch my football game, or, and so then when you have that disconnect, and then it's tough too, because you're not making time for each other, but then you're also not wondering, well, what does the other person need as well? So I know that tends to be an issue. It is a hard balance.
Yeah.
And I do know though, when you don't have that personal time, you can tend to be at each other a little bit. So we get very, very snippy.
Things like
snarky, we like to call it.
Things like the toilet paper follies, things like that happen. And, you start to like snap about completely irrelevant things.
Like stupid things. Like, when he doesn't rinse off his knife every time he makes a bagel with cream cheese, and the knife just sits there with the cream cheese on it in the sink. And it's amazing how it just wants to eat through the knife. And it bugs me because after 5 knives, you would think that one of them, am I getting angry here? I'm kind of am.
This is a very sensitive subject for Terry.
One of them would get scrubbed and put into the dishwasher. No, they just sit in the sink. And
what if he was saving it for later? What if he wanted to re-cream cheese his bagel.
No, he's just doing that. The other thing is that he puts his Starbucks iced tea cup in the drainer instead of pouring it out and put the plastic cup in the trash.
My mom does that.
So we have them lined up in the side of the drainer. So
what if he was trying? What if he was trying to save that for later?
You're so nice, Korren, to really have Tom's back here, but no. Now, of course, what he would say on the flip side is, oh, you mean like, your coffee and tea cups that you leave by the side of your bed that I get every single night or morning I pull out and put in the sink for you?
Semantics.
Yes, but you know what? Let me talk to you about that for a second, because even though he might do that every once in a while, he doesn't pour them out and rinse them out. So he puts them in the sink next to his knife. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I guess I got to go in the kitchen and do dishes, because then it gets, the coffee cups get steamed. But anyway, just trying to make time for your marriage and your partners. There's really some funny things that kind of happen with that. And I think the one thing is making sure that, and this is just what I do. And so, take this advice or not take advice, or send me some advice, because I struggle with this, is when you want to talk to your spouse, and I'm just putting this out there. I just yesterday hit 19 years of marriage.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I know. Shout out to me. Or Tom. Yeah, thanks, honey, for putting up with me. But the one thing that I think is important is that when you go to talk to your spouse, say their name and make sure they're looking at you before you say something. Because sometimes I'll just start talking and then I know I've already finished a sentence and he'll be like, what? And then I'll have to repeat the whole thing. And okay, folks, this is a family show, so I'm not going to use profanity right now. But right now is a good time to put it in here. We just want to have something that's edited in, because I get really upset if I have to repeat myself over and over. I speak for a living, not just podcasting, but that's what I do for a living. I'm a speaker. And so if I have to reiterate everything I say because somebody's not listening to me, I get mad.
Yeah, no, and I think when you're not having that dedicated time to each other, then those moments do come up and they're more impactful. So having that time to, even if it's short-lived, it's just small little bits of communication that are quality, those really do help.
I think you did something though that I thought was really cool. And
what did I do?
It's not something that I would do, but I think if I had your butt, I probably would do it. Your boudoir pictures. I thought those were cool. So I just think those were great. And you actually made a shirt for your husband. So I thought that was cool.
That's so funny because that was his request. So I did do a boudoir shoot. I have to say that is not my typical avenue of taking photos. Actually, anybody who knows me, I'm really very shy about my body. It's got some wear and tear on it from the kids and things like that. And I've definitely had my own battles and struggles over the years. But a few months back, I was trying to think of a gift for my husband for his birthday. And I decided, he's actually really hard to shop for, if you can imagine that, just very, very difficult. He's pretty picky about certain things. And so I was having struggles trying to come up with ideas that were creative, because I'm always trying to be creative. He's a very creative person, in his music, in his art. So I tried to channel that and show him something of his caliber. And so I decided to do this boudoir shoot, but not necessarily because I wanted to show him sexy pictures, but I presented it to him and I told him that I was giving him my confidence. But he's always told me that he finds my confidence beautiful and he wishes I had more of it. Let me rephrase that. He wishes that I had the level of confidence the same way that he sees me, so that he wishes it was mirrored, because he sees me in a much better light than I think I view myself. And I think that's most people. So I gave him my confidence and I told him that was something that I promised to him. And so I took pictures in things that I knew he liked, that he had made comments about. One of them was like I stole one of his jerseys, football jerseys, and I picked out some of the things that he said he liked the best. And I made sure to do types of pictures and poses that I felt like in previous communication that he would like. And then when the pictures were done, I took him to the studio and we had like a private viewing. And our photographer put it on the TV, and he got to watch it like in a video.
That's cool. I
and
didn't
then
know
he
that.
got,
That's cool.
he got to pick out which were his favorite, and then we got them printed. No, we got them on CD.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I had come up with an idea, and I thought it was silly, but he wears like shirts with like girls on them or whatever, and they're
I've
usually
seen one of his little musical things he's done. His bar city blues.
Yeah. So anyways, I was like, oh, we make a shirt out of it, thinking it was a complete joke because that would be my face on it. And he picked one of the most risque photos that I took, and he was all about it, and he got it made. He has me from a boudoir in my underwear, basically on his shirt. He was so proud. Photo. Yeah. So I have to say that was a confidence boost for me, and it was definitely different. You know, we've been married almost 8 years. We've been together 11. So it's like we had to switch things up a little bit, and that was kind of my way. Not that anything needed to be switched up, but trying something new
I think that's
was really exciting. I was so nervous. So,
were you really?
Yeah.
You just look so natural. I saw them, and actually, they were beautiful.
Natural.
They were just beautiful. They were just really pretty pictures. I wish I could do that. I'm a little bit older than you, but that's not going to happen.
I think every woman should do it.
Yes,
I really do.
But if you have even a little bit of inkling that you want to do that, you definitely should.
I did one with him too. Did he tell you that?
No. Actually, I didn't know about the pictures until I saw them on your private account. So I didn't even know he did it. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. He did. That was actually my first experience doing it. And he was like all about it.
Oh, yes. Well, it's the guy thing.
And it's so funny because our photographer is like, don't do the starfish where the arms behind the head and the legs. Yeah. And, you know, it's like a natural guy pose. I think on the bed.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of fun. But I didn't get all loosened up with it until like the last like few minutes of it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. You end up being really silly. And our photographer was saying like funny things behind the camera, usually with like poop or something. Like weird words that just make you do exactly what you did. So then you're doing this like charismatic laugh and you're like,
yeah, you're not posing.
Right.
So
and
basically,
it's more natural.
That's nice.
So
fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
That's good. That's good. Well, if you definitely need some, tips or tricks or date night anything, please visit our blog on our website. We just really, at the BunLife, or I should say the BunLife.com. We just really like to give anything we can to just really help everybody out with that. This week, for looking at small victories, one of the things that it was interesting, because I was trying to think of something this week, and it was, that was tough. I couldn't really find one, and you would think I would, especially since this was my anniversary week. And we went out to dinner last night, and it was a place my husband likes. Not one of my favorite places, but, I thought this is his anniversary too, and that's really where he wanted to go to. So we went there, and it was okay. It was again, something he really liked. And I thought, okay, we're going to be off our phones. I knew he had a baseball game going on. And his team was like on an 11-game running streak. So he was excited about that. But I figured, we're going to be off our phones and everything. We weren't. He was on his phone. I think I was food blogging, taking some pictures of what we were eating or whatever. And I think the small victory here is that, we kind of were laughing about it because neither one of us got mad. He really wanted to see his baseball game. And I at that point, I was like, you know what, honey, it's fine. And I was, I had my mind set on other things because it's during a really busy work week for me. And it was interesting because sometimes when you just let things go, you kind of have a laugh about it. So I think that was my small victory. It was very small, but I think it was enough where I think it was okay.
I think sometimes letting things go is a huge thing.
I don't let things go. So if anybody knows me, I hold on. So it was definitely a kind of a moment, I think, for me.
I know. I think that's awesome. My small victory, as a working mom, sometimes your professional career can go on the back burner. Actually, it almost often does if you're a working mom, because, I personally commend the stay-at-home moms because I feel that is incredibly hard work. And sometimes, to me, it's easier to go to work. But what is the hard part where I found is going to work might be the easier part on occasion for me. Excelling in work is the hard part. And I received some really awesome news this week that's going to provide me some opportunities and open up some doors. And, it totally blindsided me. I was not prepared. And I was really excited. And because I wasn't planning on it or pursuing it, and I was just approached about it, it created this whole shift in my day, and it just propelled me into the rest of the week. And so that was great, because as a mother in a professional corporate world, when you go on maternity leave, you're taking time out of your progression. When you can't do something or be somewhere because you have obligations to pick up your kid by a certain time and someone else gets to go, those things make it hard. So my small yet huge victory is that in and of itself.
Did you get a promotion, or what did you get?
I did not get a promotion.
Oh, I was like, what? Now tell us what it is. I'm like, okay, wait, I'm on my edge of my seat. Okay, it was just something that was good at work.
It was really good, and it will open doors for potential promotion.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
So that's awesome. Well, we love hearing about that.
Yes.
Well, everybody, we just really appreciate having you today and having you on with us. And we look forward to the next time that we can share with you some of our stories and just some things that happened to us. And we hope that you're finding this pretty uplifting and giving you a moment to just really tell us, how you're feeling and what your small victories are. So until next time.
We love you. Bye. Thank you for listening to the BunLife Podcast. You can find us at www.thebunlife.com. You can email us at thebunlifeofficial@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media platforms, including Instagram and Facebook at The BunLife Official. You can stream our podcast on almost all platforms, including YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Google Play, as well as our website. Don't forget to rate us and leave us a review on whatever platform you listen to. Now, everyone, make it a great day. Until next time.
That's right. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Woo, woo. Curtis King on the beat.